Alright, now,
Down is November.
what's the questions? The question is to calculate the A, like Catherine has said, and let's apply the formula we have. It's a vertical throw, free fall, one of the special cases of a throw. So, this is actually free fall. Fly fall, free fall. But free fall is just a special case. A special case of the vertical throw we have learned just now. Of the vertical throw we learned just now. So, do you remember that the formulae of the distance has been correlated? Is something wrong?
No, I'm just.
Okay, has been correlated with the accelerations, correct? Which is as, you remember, is equals to initial velocity times the time.
Wait, what?
The
Oh,
formula
yeah.
that you just wrote using the u as the initial velocity. I usually use delta t, but now I comply with the book first. Minus 1/2 times the g, 9.81, or sometimes 10. In the mündliche Prüfung, in the oral exam, it's totally fine to use 10 meter per second, the magnitude of the gravitational accelerations, or the 9.81. But now listen, this time we consider this g to be first unknown, and that's exactly the A which Captain meant here to be searched. Understand? Now we certainly knew that it should be somehow 10 or maybe 9.8 in Germany, and maybe 9.80 in Ecuador like us, and 9.81 in Germany, and 9.82 in the North Pole. What? Always difference? Yes, it's always different actually. Yeah. So you're lucky living in the equator.
Yeah.
Because why? The gravitational accelerations is less than this one. Meaning, if you play basketball, you can jump a little bit higher.
Really?
And this is also a good news for the girls. Why good news? Because whenever you go on a personal scale, it will not press you further down. And you think, wow, I'm making a good diet.
Oh, that's why I'm heavier in China.
I'm here in China. In Hong Kong, yeah? Yeah. Have you realized that? Have you really made some
I
observations?
think that's just because you eat more.
How big of a
Yeah,
difference
it's
is it?
more not because of the personal scale.
How big of a difference is it, Chia?
Well, it was the last time I checked in Indonesia was like 3-4 months ago, and the last time I checked was in China it's like 1 month ago, and the difference was like 7-8 kilos.
Okay,
Yeah,
that's not.
That's not because of this. That's because of the diet.
It was a great diet.
That's a great diet. That's why. Now, times t squared. Okay. Now look at the situation here. Do we know the time?
Yes.
Do we know the distance or
Yes.
displacement, if you would?
Yes.
Hmm. Are we able to calculate the A there?
No.
Let's start. Since I let the ball fall, meaning I don't give any initial velocity up or initial velocity down,
Oh, the initial
this will
velocity is
be
zero.
zero. Alright?
I'm so smart.
Yo. You are. You are. And now, I use this picture means if the ball goes down, it has a displacement as well as a distance. This time is the same, and I use negative means I prefer to consider it as a displacement negative 2.10. equals with negative 1/2 times A times, what's the time again? 0.67.
A is G.
A, basically it will be the G. Hopefully it has the same value. Yes, we want to compare now. Yes, hopefully. So square. Can you calculate for A, please? This is the meter. Tomorrow you have the class where Mr. Mikey is there. You have to do with the unit, right? He's very
Okay.
strict with the unit, right?
We're not even allowed to write the numbers.
Oh yeah? Wow.
We have to do it with the letters or the
First.
variables first.
First, yes.
There
That
you
would
go.
be great. Alright, happy? So the negative cancels. It will become 2.10 times 2 divided by 0.67 squared. Meter per second squared is the unit. Can you help me there?
Wait,
Okay,
why
okay.
times
Why times
1/2.
Can you help with the algebra? Someone?
Wait, which one times 2?
This
minus
one,
1/2.
2. Why do I multiply with 2?
Oh.
You still remember?
Oh,
The first lesson I have?
If you flip
You
it
multiply
around.
by 2, you multiply by 2, remember? So then these 2 cancels, and then you see 2 times negative 2.1, okay?
What?
Okay, I repeat again the algebra I did with you, yeah? So, can I use letters first? Which Jihang doesn't like?
No, I don't.
It's okay for you, yeah? Negative 1/2 times A times T squared. Help me please change the subject of the equations. A will be the subject of the equations. Can you help me?
Okay, so
You multiply by 2, you multiply by 2.
Y2.
Why 2? So that I can cancel the 1/2.
Oh, it's just a random. Okay.
Yeah, that's the reason why. It's just like this. This is Kathleen. Yeah, and Kathleen has a bad companion named Gary. Okay, and since the relationship between Kathleen and Gary is multiplication, it's just like when Gary and Kathleen met for the first time in discotheque, then I have to rip them away from the discotheque, right? The relationship between Gary and Kathleen is multiplication. I have to do the opposite. If the relationship between Gary and Kathleen is they know each other in discotheque and they like going to discotheque, I have to rip them by doing the opposite, which is
Going
not
to-
allowing them to go to discotheque. Correct? Not allowing you for especially not to go to the discotheque. Now, what is the inversions of multiplication? What is the opposite operations of the multiplication? Divisions. Okay, divisions. So basically you divide by 1/2 here, you divide by 1/2 here, correct? So the 1/2 will be divided by 1/2, actually gone. But I do it a little bit different. Since divisions with 1/2 is the same thing like saying
Times 2.
times 2.
Also, it's minus.
It's the same thing, right? So I just actually multiply by 2. Why multiply by 2? So that the brother Gary will be thrown away from the life of Kathleen.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Okay.
Okay, you understand?
Prefer you
The
do
same thing now with Kathleen on Jihang squared. So I have now already Kathleen and Jihang. Gary is no longer there. I should kill the Jihang.
Yes.
How do I kill him? By doing the opposite again. What is the opposite of multiplication? Divisions. That's right. I divide by t squared. I divide by t squared. Don't worry. Don't be afraid of me. So what do I have now? A equals to 2s divided by t squared.
Where does the minus go?
Where does the minus go? Good question. The minus is still there. Thank you.
Zero.
Still there. So
Zero
I
doesn't
have
matter.
negative 2 times, what is it again? The picture I use? Negative 2.1. Correct? Negative 2 times negative 2.1 divided by the t squared. What is my t squared? 0.67. And then the unit eventually meter per second squared.
Wait, can you scroll up? Again?
Huh?
Can you scroll up?
Scroll up. Yes. You mean this one?
Yeah.
Yes.
Pato,
Yes.
is that the 0.67 also supposed to be squared or no?
Squared.
Oh,
Correct.
yeah.
So,
Mhm.
Yeah.
So now you're alone, Kathleen.
shut up, you're literally
Uh-huh.
killed, Jihan.
You're dead, Chiam. You don't exist. So do I.
It's just a metaphor, please, guys.
I don't
No,
think
it's a
so.
metaphor
It's
for
a
women
nice
to
boy.
lead the world.
It's a metaphor for now.
I didn't exist from the beginning.
This is a metaphor.
It's a metaphor. Correct. What do you get, people? 4.2 times 2.1. 2 times 2.1 divided by 0.67 squared. 9.3. 9.3 something. Is it 9.3?
Five.
Five.
Don't put 36.
So 36 meter per second squared, and that is our average.
Velocity.
Nope. Be careful.
Acceleration.
Acceleration.
My bad.
Average accelerations.
What would we be then?
But could you scroll up again?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes. Is it clear now, everyone? Next questions. Next questions. Yeah. You want to copy first before I go?
No, I need to think about it.
You think about it. Absorb it first. Meditate it mindfully. Let's not this word of physics depart from your mouth, but meditate it night and day. But by the way, what I'm just saying is the recipe for your success. And the sentence say like this: let not these words
Can you see my laptop? Can you see my laptop?
depart from your mouth. And the rest I will say it only orally. But rather meditate it night and day and do as the words say. Not to the right, not to the left, and follow it. Who knows these verbs? Or who knows this saying?
Is it from the Bible?
Yes. It's the very first time that the physics of law is stopped. That's the day when the Joshua lives and the sun stood still for the very first time and the only time. The rotations of the earth is stopped. So as the sun is here, for instance, this is the earth, right? And Israel is in the equator, right? So then on that day, he fought an enemy and the sun stood still here for 4 hours. Always midday. 4 hours, the sun is always above the earth. This is the earth, so the sun doesn't move. So for 4 hours, it's not going down. It's still on the head until they fought the enemy and won. So that's the very first time that the physics law is cancelled. Now that's the saying here. By the way, forget about that. Alright?
Bible lesson.
Okay. So according to our Bible here from physics, yes, by the way, we have next questions. What's the next questions? Brother Alan.
Suggest reason why the answer is not exactly 9.81 meters per second squared.
Yeah, which accelerations is greater according to the physics books here or the one that we have just calculated? Which one is greater? According to the theory, yes. According to the measurement in Germany here, right, or in Sweden. So just reason, it's not accelerated as high as this one. What happened there? Why is not accelerated faster and faster as in the experiment? Suggest? Yes, sir.
Maybe it didn't have enough time to reach its max velocity.
There's no?
There's not enough time for it to go as fast as it possibly can.
Maybe because of that. The experiment is just with a small time span, so it's not really show the reality. Maybe another possibility.
The timer is broken.
The time is broken. Wow, so sophisticated sentence. From Einstein, that's exactly what the Einstein says. Time can be broken. If you move faster than the light velocity, then the time breaks. It
I
stops.
was talking about the electronic timer,
Yeah.
but
Also, you
but
don't
that
know.
works also.
By the
I
way,
can drop it.
this experiment, which you have the 9.81, has been conducted without an air resistor. Can you write it?
Without what?
Without air resistance.
So without friction?
Without frictions with the air. That's right. Without air resistance. So there are two possibilities that you have come up with. First, the experiment is just too short, right? And this short experiment will not give you the full reality. And not to mention, since this experiment is too short, maybe the timepiece doesn't measure correctly. Maybe your friend who holds the stopwatch doesn't react correctly. Are you with me?
Wait, I have a question.
Yes.
If the answer that is calculated without air resistance, why didn't we include it there?
It's not included yet. In fact, we want to calculate the accelerations and confirm whether it's not far from it or very far from it.
But
The
then,
true accelerations, which is the true one.
but if both doesn't use air resistance, shouldn't it?
Does it say that it doesn't use air resistance in the questions? No. It's not saying that it's without air resistance. In fact, that's the reason why this deviate a little bit or quite a bit from the theoretical numbers. Understand? Yes, because
Yeah.
of air resistance and because of the short experiment, and this short experiment has a consequence. The time gate, how do you say that? Time gate breaks?
Space-time continuum.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
Or wrong reactions of your friends as they measure the time, right?
Yeah.
We call it error in measurement, error in experiment. Understand? Okay. Okay, continue. Number 19. Number 19. Can somebody stop the video first?
Wait, no, I need to